Hey, my name is Adam Madrzyk. I'm a cinematographer based out of Toronto, Canada. We are shooting a documentary for Curves. The director is Avery Steadman. Yeah, we're shooting this beautiful house in Toronto in Mississauga. For this, I think we're trying to find like a nice moody approach, some nice contrast, kind of like embracing natural light, but we're still lighting, but kind of making it look like natural light, I guess. So for this spot, we're using a lot of Steadicam and a lot of zooms. So we're actually using the K35 zoom from Ontario Camera. It's a beautiful lens, I love it. I just filtered it with a 1/4 Hollywood Blackmagic, and I find like that in combination with the K35 zoom just has such a magical feel to it and gives like such a beautiful softness and fall off. And honestly, the location that we're shooting in today has like so much beautiful light and natural light that we're just augmenting it and wrapping it a little bit more. So we're using 2 sky panels, S60s, and then 2 M18s, 2 300Xs, and a 600D, and that's most of our package today. Our first setup, we were just shooting in the living room that had like a pretty massive couch. So I was just trying to shape that a little bit. So we negged the entire one side of the house just to give us some contrast. And I made sure to map out the sun originally to see kind of where the sun would be hitting at the beginning of the day. We negged that side of the house where the sun was, and then kind of augmented our own sun from the other side of the house. And first we set up the M18, I kind of matched my exposure to that. And then we started setting up the key. And from there, I think we used a 300X and a 600D. And I kind of just adjusted my key based off of that initial exposure. And then the next setup, we did this like tabletop shoot, but the sun came out of the clouds. So I had to use all the firepower that we had. So I ended up using 2 S60s, the M18, a 600D, and a 300X. And even that was like just barely enough. So luckily that the Black Diamond Sprinter truck comes with so many fixtures. So honestly, I feel bad for my gaffer Adrian, but I asked him to bring all the fixtures from the truck essentially. But you know, team spirit is great today. The crew is awesome, and we're having a great time. Thanks so much for joining me on the set, and I'm looking forward to share the final product.
Curves describes my creative journey. It's always been like this winding road. At the height of the pandemic, I made a CD rug and it went viral. That kickstarted Curves at home. Really late at night, I'll find something that inspires me and leads me into a wormhole of inspiration. Nostalgia is something that's relatable to a lot of people, especially if you're from that time period. The Y2K era had so much influence on me because that was during my formative period. So really, Curves is just trying to preserve the energy of that time. Approaching art and design with a sense of purity. Understanding the origin of things is important because then you're informed and you can reimagine things from a clear place. We always keep art first. You can have West Elm and IKEA, but look what happens when you let children of immigrants in. You get a wider variety of design, and that's a better outcome.